Okay. Hey guys. So during the elections of 2016, a lot of policy issues were discussed. Some of them were racial profiling, drug legalization, and private prisons. Another big one that was discussed during that time was Medicaid. So, after doing some research on this, I found out that according to Medicare.gov, that roughly 75 million people are enrolled in this health program. And it said after that that there are also about 323.1 million people in America. So even though that's a bit of a difference, 75 million people is quite a bit of people to be enrolled in this program. So some of the obstacles or problems that came up during when discussing Medicaid was that it is ongoing. So people that are going into the Medicaid, that are kind of researching it, realize that there is basically no end to it. Another example that was brought up during that was that more than low income Americans are using this health program. The last thing that is brought up as well is that it causes debt. And as we know, we're already in debt, so this Medicaid is just pushing that debt over the limit. So this is very important to some people. I personally do not use Medicaid, but I have many friends and family members that do use it and that do depend on this healthcare program. That as President Trump is trying to repeal this or replace it, it is causing a lot of things to occur and it is causing a lot of downside to those people that do use it. So the first one that I mentioned was that Medicare or Medicaid was ongoing. So the research says that, like I said, they don't seem to see it to stop. I looked up more on the same website, Medicare.gov, and it mentioned that it is a protected program, which means people are not going to lose it. They're just going to keep using it, and they're just never going to lose that. So they're going to continue to have that. Another one that it ensures, the funds ensure that it will keep going at least until the year of 2029, which right now we're in 2017, and that's quite a little bit over 10 years, which is a long time. Another thing is that it is an open-ended commitment. So people that are in this program just never give it up. They don't really have to give it up because it is just so ongoing. The second thing that I mentioned was that it covers more than the low-income Americans. So again, as I was doing research on the website U.S. News, it mentioned block grants, that President Trump was going to bring in block grants for this issue. And what that is that each state is issued a certain amount of money, and they are to use that money in order of the needs of the people. So that's really what Trump is trying to put in place of Medicare or Medicaid. Also, with this, people lie. I also have many friends that lie about their family income, how much they receive in money or yearly, and their family size. When they lie on the test or how they're able to get eligible for this program, they lie and they put, oh, that they don't have a lot of money or that they have a lot of people living there in their house, which is not necessarily the truth, because people are lying and just not telling the truth on these applications for Medicare. And the last one that I mentioned was that it's putting America in debt. Based off of my knowledge, I know that we are roughly $38 million in debt. That's not even including the research I've done on Medicare. That's just from a former Medicaid. That's just from a former class that I took. So some research that I looked up was on the website of National Review, is that Medicaid alone puts America $23 million in debt. And we're not going a very good way on the road right now. So with this, it just pushes it up more over the debt. And on that same webpage, it says that new enrolled people push that number up from 1 year to the next of $18 million. So that alone in just 1 year just pushes it 18 million, and that just adds to our debt that we have. On other researches that I looked up was that the government pays roughly 57% of the expenses of Medicaid. And this again is another reason why we are in debt, which was why it was discussed, because we just keep on adding to it and the numbers just shoot up. The last thing is that if you do have the program Medicaid, you do get 60% off of good brand drugs. So if you want to go buy some medicine and they're good brands, you do get 60% off of that. And it's not just random people paying for it, it's the government paying for that. So in concluding this, a lot of people don't seem to realize what happens, and this is why this was a big issue that was discussed during the elections. So mothers, children, elderly people are influenced and impacted by this decision that was being made. So it just kind of opens our eyes to see what kind of things people run into while using Medicaid. So thank you for listening to me.